Man, we got rumors coming out like wildfire. It's ridiculous, man, what's happening in the gaming industry right now. The amount of crap that people are talking about in terms of rumors is insane, and we have yet another one. Apparently, there's a rumor going around right now that Ghost of Yotei is to be delayed to 2026 after abandoning the Ghost of Tsushima sequel.
Who's laughing now?
Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, but isn't Ghost of Yotei the sequel, right? What are you talking about abandoning the Ghost of Tsushima sequel? Well, the rumors are that Ghost of Tsushima 2 was supposed to be a thing. Up until recently, over the last year or two, Ghost of Yotei became a thing when they decided to switch to a female protagonist halfway through development. But ultimately, it was supposed to be the continuation of Jin Sakai's story, and it didn't end up that way for whatever reason. You can blame activism, you can blame whatever, but that's the current rumors that are going around right now. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, again, every time I make a video on Ghost of Yotei, I have people that will comment on the video without actually watching the video and be like, Ghost of Yotei is not woke. You chuds are so angry. It's like, did you even watch the video? Did you even watch my videos? You would realize I didn't even call it woke, not even once. But you'll have people flood the comments because they got a shill, right? You got people that are fanboys of PlayStation. I get that. I understand. And you have people that are shills for the ideology and the message. I get that too. Listen, you see a female lead, and just like you like to say, oh, we say it's woke, you're the first one to be like, oh, it's not woke. It's amazing. It's stunning and brave. Like, no, let's take a step back. And let's just admit that both of us need to shut the fuck up, and we need to see some gameplay. We haven't seen any gameplay, and I guarantee you this game is probably nowhere near ready, given that we haven't seen really any gameplay whatsoever. So it says a rumor claims that Sony and Sucker Punch Productions recently announced a Ghost of Yotei game will be delayed to at least 2026 after the company changed its vision from a Ghost of Tsushima sequel to Ghost of Yotei. Now, I do find it interesting that this is a rumor, because I gotta be honest with you, I figured that they were probably waiting until the game was almost near completion in order to be able to, to even announce it. But considering what we've been seeing for games like Concord or whatnot and Sony products lately, and how they're being announced before they're anywhere close to being ready, and then when they get released, they're just garbage and buggy. I hope that Sucker Punch is not falling for that. I hope Sucker Punch is not one of those developers that are falling into that hole. Sony announced Ghost of Yotei during its most recent PlayStation State of Play at the end of September and revealed the game would release sometime in 2025. A little over a week since that announcement, a new rumor from YouTuber Endymion claims that the game would be delayed until 2026. He shared, I was also told, do not expect Yotei in 2025 at all. Apparently, the game's nowhere near being done, but it's a very slim chance that this game actually releases in 2025. It could very easily fall into 2026. But if you're getting your hopes up for it coming out next year, probably don't do that. Every source that I spoke to stated they fully expect a delay at some point to be announced, he added. Now, whether or not they delay this game, neither here nor there for me, because right now, I don't know if I'm buying this game, right? I need to see gameplay. I'm not opposed to female protagonists. I just want to make sure it's done right. Hopefully it's done right. If you try to sell me a Mary Sue, I'm going to be immediately turned off, and I'm going to start looking at my backlog of games and be like, yep, I'm going to play that instead. So I just need to see gameplay. I need to see what we're dealing with here, because I'm not going to be sold on a fucking cinematic trailer. The sad thing is that a lot of these, supposed gamers anyway, especially the fanboys on consoles, they tend to just be sold on trailers. I'm not like that. I'm not going to be sold on a trailer. Give me some gameplay. Otherwise, I don't care at this point. He said, I was told originally that Yotei was not the original game idea at all. Now, this is what I really wanted to talk about. It was actually indeed Ghost of Tsushima 2 starring Jin Sakai, but sometime during development, the game was halted and then completely changed in vision. This Atsu character we see was not originally decided to be the main character of this game. Now, okay, so this I can kind of see. Right? I don't know if I believe that it happened within the last year. I think it probably happened a little bit further than that, to be honest with you. But I got to think to myself that, yeah, I can see how this is possible, because normally when you have a game that you're going to continue from, you tend to go the sequel route. You don't tend to go the anthology route. I did find it very odd that all of a sudden they decided to turn Ghost of Tsushima into an anthology series instead of just a direct sequel. I just find it to be very, very strange. Almost everybody that I ever spoke to was looking forward to the continuation of Jin Sakai's story. That's what people had in their mind. They didn't have this shit in their mind. Nobody had in their mind a female character or just a different character in general. If you spoke to anybody about, hey, what do you think Ghost of Tsushima 2 is going to have? Nobody said, oh yeah, it's going to be 300 years in the future. It's going to be called something totally different, and it's going to have a female main lead. Yeah, that sounds legit. That sounds plausible. Nobody thought that. So me either, by the way. I never thought that. So I do find this to be a bit believable. I just don't know if I believe the time frame of which it happened. Apparently, according to my sources, Yotei's world and design are largely based on the assets that were being used while making Tsushima 2. Apparently, work began on Tsushima 2 around 2 months after the official sales data came through on the first game's success. Now, if you do look at Ghost of Yotei in the trailer, it looks extremely similar to Ghost of Tsushima. And that's not just because obviously it's made by the same people, but just the landscape and everything looks very similar, even though it's 300 years into the future. And Demeon then shared that the reason why Yotei would get delayed is due to the change in vision. These changes from Tsushima 2 to Yotei happened apparently within the last year. So the entire vision of the project has been changed. Now that, I don't know if I believe that. I feel like that is way, way, way too fucking soon, okay? If you are going to do this within the last year, where you're going to change up the entire game's direction in the last year, then why would you announce it now? You're going to be nowhere near completion, which, again, would bolster the rumor about the delay, but still, just from a business strategy standpoint, you're going to announce it now in 2024 for it to come out 2 years later. Nobody's going to be really that hyped for it at that point. You want to hit it hard. You know what I mean? You want to get this game out as close to holiday season as possible. I think it's bad already that they're not releasing Ghost of Yotei during this year's holiday season. I think that's a big miss. But overall, they still, like, 2026, I just think it's very odd to me. I don't believe that it happened within the last year. I think the decision was made much sooner than that, and they had the last couple of years to fine-tune, Ghost of Yotei into its own thing and turn it into an anthology. But ultimately, whether or not that's true or not, I guess we're going to find out at some point in time. He added the era of place in the game 300 years into the future from Tsushima's story was decided because it would be more believable in Sucker Punch's internal talks for the game to star a woman at that point. Now, this is what I said. I said the reason why they're doing this is because it does kind of kill the criticism about, oh, it's not featuring Jin Sakai, because Jin Sakai is dead. You know what I mean? 300 years into the future, he's dead. He's gone. He's bones. He's dust. So there's no reason for people to bring him up. And then they could just say, well, Jin Sakai is dead, so we can't use him, but we could use her. You know what I mean? That's the entire reason they do stuff like this. You have to kind of read in between the lines to truly understand the message that's play here with this game. So ultimately, we're going to see what happens as gameplay gets released. But as of right now, I'm 50-50 on this game, but I can't help but notice certain patterns that just do not look good. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.